All right, guys, we're here. The Daily Advantage podcast. Welcome. Happy Monday. Hopefully it's a happy Monday. Hope you guys are, well, whenever you're listening to us, hope it's being a great day. And we're looking forward to the podcast. Today, we don't have a guest. It's the first podcast without a guest. And pretty much we're just taking the time and doing a little business talk. We're going to talk about some experience, keep it kind of light, and see how it goes.
By the time you're hearing this, we just finished up our first week launching the Daily Advantage. We did the most content that we've ever done.
It was about 70 pieces of content in the first week, which is pretty crazy because we haven't done that in the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we've done 70 pieces of content.
We haven't done 70 pieces of content in like a 4-month span ever.
Yeah, it's good though.
We've never worked that much since me and Gavin worked on the Exercise Simple.
And we should talk about that today because that's a amazing story. It's a good story.
Planning the content was the hardest, most overwhelming part.
It
took
us
scary. 2 hours last time.
We sat and talked for like 2 hours, and
we sat down last night and planned next week, and
it took like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
20 minutes. Yeah.
It was all about getting like a
formula. It's probably because now, since it's the second time planning it, we kind of knew.
Yeah, we had
what we wanted to post when we wanted to post it. The first time it was like, should we post this here or that there or all this other stuff, and it took us 2 hours standing in Logan's kitchen trying to figure out what to do.
But I can safely say that I'm pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy. I'm feeling confident.
From the first week's perspective, I mean, there was a couple times where we're kind of working out the kinks and the problems, and we still are, but
we questioned
as far as, because we all live in separate houses, obviously, for now. And so it's tough to like. I mean,
Drew's right across the street from me, but he doesn't wake up until 1. So
it's not my fault. I work late night every single night.
6 p.m. Logan.
So do I, but
you don't work, Logan.
Okay,
I do work.
Actually, might not have a job, but
I might not have.
Hopefully, by the time you see this podcast, Logan is employed.
Everybody pray.
One like equals one pray for Logan.
If I don't have a job, you'll see a GoFundMe in the future.
There will be that'll be the ad for this. Will be Logan's GoFundMe to help him get a job. Need money to get a job. So what do you guys think? Like, first week, 70 pieces of content is a lot. The podcast, 2 YouTube videos, a lot of stories. A post on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok every single day. The TikTok seemed the hardest.
Yeah.
Because that's like, it's very independent. Yeah. You can't like do a photo on TikTok.
It was way more fun to do.
It was fun. Yeah, we had.
It had to be some kind of a skit or
was like
something different every single day that we did it.
We were working hard, but we still had fun in the process.
It was the
photos that came out of this week, wow.
Enjoy the process.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Like when we were down there shooting those creek photos, even though my pinky toe was frozen,
and my hands were about to fall off.
Yeah. If you would have fallen in the water, it probably would have been a little more fun, but he didn't.
Hypothermia.
It would my throwing that snow on you, my hands were so cold. They were freezing.
You had to take one for the team. Drew had to take one for the team. All right, let's get right into this.
Do you want to talk about Exercise Simple? We can just talk about what we did.
Yeah. So, we're not going to really call out a lot of names because we're going to talk about some bad experiences, and Exercise Simple was not a bad experience at all. I'll let you take it because
it was a rough experience at first because.
Well, let's introduce them for like what it is.
Exercise Simple is a exercise app that my uncle has created, and it's mainly aimed toward people who are like they need to stay at home, or they can't
always get out to a gym.
They have busy schedules, so they need like maybe a 10-minute break just to get some exercise in. It's a great idea.
It's super cool.
Good niche.
And we got in touch with him through you, obviously. Yeah. And we kind of had like the idea to start working with him because we were starting our businesses. He's super entrepreneurial. And
what happened was he found out about our business because one night me and Gavin were down in DC.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah.
That was like
last November.
14 months ago.
We were shooting at a party at the Ritz-Carlton, and we didn't want to drive back that night because it was terrible. It rained all day, and at night it was even worse.
Gosh, yeah. It rained the whole day. And
it was our first time by ourselves in DC.
Ever doing like a shoot, really. Like that was like your first time shooting. You were so nervous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So My uncle lives around DC, pretty
He's
close.
down in the area. Yeah.
So I just hit him up and he let us stay the night. And
we
then
crashed at his place.
when he crashed, he was so interested in what we were
Yeah.
doing, and he was
Yeah.
like, the guy we have currently, he's getting a little behind with his editing, so maybe we might use a little extra help. So come May, he asked us, we have how many videos did we count out?
It was like 300 videos.
We had like 300 videos that we need edited
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. And what was how much we get paid? What this ballpark?
Ballpark. I think it was about 2,000 total, 2,100 total.
Yeah, it's between two people. That was a good payday.
We each took about 1,000 home, and it was, so for a little bit of perspective and like a broader idea, like he produces videos. His app is made so that he records content that you can have a separate workout every single day. Everything's different. Like every single day, he's almost like your personal trainer. And I mean, his app's doing really well. I think they have like 54 countries.
Yeah.
There are people in 54 countries that are working, and it's just this. It's actually really awesome. But the guy who is shooting the video, he's a one-man team. Actually, he's doing some great stuff. I'm not going to drop his name, but he's doing some great stuff now. But during the time he got behind, and it just exponentially got worse because they were shooting, what was it, like 16 videos a night?
Oh yeah.
Twice a week. So it just added up, and then he got behind, and then I think he went on break or something. And so then he sent it to us and kind of treated it as like an interview process to see what we could do, and it was a grind for sure.
So when me and Gavin got the videos, we didn't realize, or accepted the job, we didn't realize how small
scale.
our 2-week time period was and how much work it entailed.
Because it was like 25, 30 videos a day or
Because
something like that.
the first day we edited together. You had your laptop, I was on my desktop, and we just did like maybe 3 videos because we were doing other shit too. But what happened was we just we mapped out how many videos we needed to edit a day
to get it done in time.
And we saw it was a
It was a lot.
It was a lot, and we were just like, shit.
Holy cow, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that 2-week period, I woke up 4:30.
We were always up.
4:30.
Yeah.
I edited videos until I had to go to school because I was still in high school at the time.
Yeah, and I was in college, so we had school and work.
So I went from school immediately to work, and then after work, I stayed up till about 11, 12, just finishing the editing.
Yeah.
And just repeated the process every day. If there's ever a time I need coffee, it was then.
See,
that was the coffee week.
This is the point that I didn't get to see you guys through this point.
You were still at Salisbury.
I was at Salisbury.
Yeah.
So I've heard about you guys doing it, but I didn't see what you guys were doing during it.
It was a lot. But, I mean, since then, actually, we've connected more, and we're actually going to be doing all of the content, knock on wood, for the version 2.0 of the app. So
look out for it. Check it out on the App Store right now.
Yeah, Exercise Simple. The guy's amazing.
It should most likely be a lot better this time because you have a much
production
larger
value.
time span
And more people.
for what you're doing.
And we're gonna have better
camera, lighting, and we can have like Andrew will probably be editing that stuff.
Do you know when you're gonna start doing it?
Hoping spring.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
hoping.
At that point, you'll have 4 different people who can edit it.
We'll have all of us will be able
doing
to edit.
VFX for Exercise.
Yeah.
Just bullet hits randomly.
No, just turn him in Super Saiyan when he at the end of every video.
He's like 10 more or something like that.
At the end of every video, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see. At the end of every video, he flexes like this.
Yeah.
He's gonna go Super
just
Saiyan.
Like that. Yeah. And
he's
we
gonna
just,
go Super Saiyan.
Buff him up or something. Yeah. So that was super cool. And I think going off that, it was a super cool opportunity. One, to be put in the situation where he understood that it was going to be a lot of hustle and a lot of hard work, and it was very intimidating when we did the numbers. We realized how much we had to crank out every single day, but the reward was nuts.
Yeah.
Building the connection, and pretty much, I mean, we were almost doing it for free in the beginning. We were just doing it because we knew it was going to be long-term connection, and as it is, we're going to work with him and do a lot of stuff with their app, which is super cool. So, I mean, I know we talk about it a lot, but free to fee is literally one of the best ways to build your business, especially if you're young and you can afford it. We're all dumb, young, broke kids.
We're still living in our parents' house. We don't need the money.
Podcast is in my mom's basement, and I mean, we're planning to move out, but it goes to show that you can make connections with people. And like when we were in Hagerstown, I guess it'll be actually in our first week. Like you can go to our YouTube and check out. We were in Hagerstown, which is our local town, city, and we were literally just going to businesses offering free work. And to most people, it's like, why would they do that? Why would you offer somebody to do a free shoot? And our idea is so that we can market and we can make connections. Like there's not really any video, like freelance video in Hagerstown. And we were just taking advantage. And now we've already received calls from people following up on, free work that'll lead to pay.
One of them already said that they want us to be on their team to be paid in the future.
Yeah, to go on tour potentially with a comedian. So that's something. That would be sick.
We also had a very interesting encounter we went on that.
We can talk about this.
Some people are crazy, man.
Welcome to the Nazi cast.
Yes. So
Drew, explain.
We had just we went into Hagerstown right by the Maryland Theater, if you know where that is. But we
had just gotten there.
We had just gotten there, and we were coming out of the parking garage.
Something like that. We were just walking on the street.
What street is that on?
I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter. But we go and we stop in front of this business.
Some business. I don't know what it was. Some lobby or something like that.
It was. We stopped there because it was like set back, so there was a roof over.
You also didn't notice that it was like World War III snowing.
Snowing, yes, it was
like
heavily.
World
War III? Heavily snowing.
Yeah, I meant to say the day after tomorrow, but
it was heavily snowing and.
Blizzard.
We go in to try and set up a lav mic so we can speak to the camera and we can hear it well because it's windy and snowing. You want to be able to hear the audio fine. And as we're standing there, a lady comes out.
Some chicken. She looked homeless.
She looked like she was homeless. It was hard to tell though, but
Drew was holding my camera.
Yes, I was holding the camera, and she asked who the camera was.
Whose camera is it?
And so Gavin.
So
obviously it's Gavin's camera, so he says it's mine. I bought it, and I'll give it to you because
yes,
you're the one that kind of
heard
what she was saying.
It was funny though because right as she said something, Logan just dipped around the corner. Logan's like, "Nope."
Oh yeah. Well, he said, "Nah, I'm not doing this."
Right off the rip, I was like, "Oh, we're just getting kicked out. They don't want us filming in front of their business. Happens all the time." I was like, "Whatever. We'll just go in the alleyway." That's what Logan did. Logan just left. But she walked out and she's like, "Whose camera is that?" I was like, "It's mine, man." Because I mean. I try to take control. It's my business and that kind of thing. And I tried to remain very professional, and I didn't know what she was there for. And she's like, that's somebody like so and so's camera, and they just died, and they're coming after you. I was like, okay, what? And I was like, no, I mean this is my camera. And then she just kept going on about how somebody's like gonna look for us and kill us, and that we're little Adolfs and we're like Nazis and stuff, and it was just dumb. Like it was just super weird. Like
it was a great way to start off.
Yeah,
the day.
But the day was amazing. That whole day in Hagerstown was great.
It definitely made us start laughing earlier in the day.
Yeah, and it was cold.
If there are people looking for us to come and kill us, we're right here.
Make sure 5 stars on the podcast before. And then
rate our podcast 5 stars, and then you can go.
Yeah, so that was our free to fee day actually, and that was a very, very funny. Very funny beginning to our podcast, to our day of business connections.
Okay, so do we want to actually get into some bad experiences now? Or?
Yeah, you guys want to.
Well, we go from a bad experience to bad business experience. I think. Yeah. I mean,
because some of the people you guys are going to talk about, I've never actually met.
Yeah, you've had a pretty good rep with the work we've done.
Never met any of them, but I've heard a whole bunch of stories about them.
Yeah, we have a lot of laughs about them. Logan, I'll let you start.
I only have 1 or 2. I mean, we've worked on most of our projects together. So
that's true. Yeah, we can probably.
The one specific to me is when I got a random email from Upwork. Upwork is a freelancing site that's
great, actually.
That really we usually use to just find freelance jobs, and I haven't really completed my Upwork profile yet, or even applied for any jobs in a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm actually doing homework at my desk, and I get a notification on my computer. It says you've been invited to this job. So I go into this job. I chat with this guy. He's from England. He's super cool. He's everything checks out, and he says he likes me, so I get the job. And he needs Facebook ads is what he was doing. So he sends me product about a week or 2 after, and
free product, right?
Yeah, and I'm supposed to shoot an ad for it. Fine, great, whatever. So, in that process of the 2 weeks waiting for the product to show up, after the product showed up, he hits me, and he was really demanding because I had work, school, and other responsibilities. Places I was at, and he was trying to get me to like do stuff this minute, and I tried.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of miscommunication, but that wasn't the end of it. Still gonna get paid, still gonna do the job. So day comes when me and Gavin are gonna shoot this ad. He's gonna help me out, and we're gonna shoot it. And I have no idea what to do. He has given me zero direction so far on how he wants it to turn out and how he wants it to look. The only direction he's given me is he gave me a web
Like an outline kind
a
of
link
thing.
to a website to look at other people's ads that are working. So I looked at that, and then he wanted me to follow this formula. He sent me a YouTube video, and it said like a formula. So that's what I did. I followed the formula, and I looked at other people's ads and just kind of copied it. Well, the thing is, the best ads on Facebook are these really just cringy,
like
not well done.
Clickbaity,
Oh yeah.
Just poor. It's just attention grabbing pretty much.
That's basically what we did. We did a short ad.
Yeah, we went and we shot it.
I was getting paid $70, so I wasn't going full
It's
out.
a pretty small job. Yeah.
You still did pretty good quality, and I sent it to him, and he's just blown away by how bad it is. I'm like,
he hated it.
and I'm like, listen, dude, I really don't know what you want me to do, and he's trying to tell me all this stuff. Like, he still doesn't give me any direction whatsoever. He's just telling me like, I'm bad at this.
I just want it.
Yeah, he's just.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, you know what? I'll send this. I'll give you $70. Just I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Yeah, it was it sucked because there was you obviously put in a bunch of work beforehand and shooting and stuff, and there's you're gonna come across people like that just
Yeah. So I want to direct this specifically at if you're gonna hire someone to do a job, do not yell at them or get angry at them when you do not give them the direction they need to do the job.
The thing that really got me though is just like, because he wasn't giving me directions, I didn't know. But then he just told me I wasn't creative enough.
Yeah. He really came at you when you delivered it. He's like, this sucks and stuff. It was really, it was very unprofessional for this guy who thought was out to be some professional honcho guy or whatever. Yeah, I think I usually relate everything back to communication.
Oh yeah, it was 100% communication.
Everything in all the great jobs that we worked on and the poor jobs, it's usually communication that differs the two. You can have a really jerk of a client, but if they tell you what they want exactly and you can produce that and you tell them that you can produce that, things go smooth. It's the when there's a disconnect between what you're capable of and what they think you're capable of, that's when you get screwed over. That's when you have liability problems. That's when you end up losing money and connections and stuff like
Wasted
that.
time.
Yeah, and really in our field, time really is money. And I have for example, we work with Dr. Bowie, who his podcast will probably be out next week by the time you're hearing this, or something like that. And his company is amazing. Active Life Solutions is his company, and he's just this really, really cool guy. And the first thing we did with him, which was all three of us actually was the team, we went to New York City for a commercial. And it was actually really, really fun. We had a ton of time, not a ton of time. We had a ton of fun. We had a lot of creative control. But the problem was we were talking, they were connecting us with a company in Switzerland, right? Or Sweden?
Sweden.
Yeah, in Sweden. In Sweden. And so we were talking to Sweden basically through Active Life. And because of that, we got on opposite sides of what they wanted. So Active Life really liked our idea, but they didn't necessarily. And honestly, it was our fault because we didn't do a lot of research, and it
was our first time for a Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, so we had worked on and since then we've actually worked on a very successful.
Yeah, and that's something that majorly differs from the two.
Yeah.
There was not. It was, in the first one it was through Active Life to the company in
Yes,
Sweden.
the other one
On
was
this one is
to Active Life,
directly
for Active
to
Life.
Active Life.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's
we're
true. I didn't
talking
think
to
about that.
whoever knows
the person
exactly
who's-
what
yeah.
they need.
To whoever needs the final product to make this
Yeah.
But
a successful campaign.
we didn't, and in the end, we didn't deliver.
It was like, I mean, it was basically it was blame on all sides. We're still working with them.
It wasn't a bad experience though. I wouldn't
No.
count it as that.
No, I'd say it's a learning
It's a
experience.
learning
There's a
experience.
difference. They're a terrific company, and Dr.
Doc-
Bowie's amazing.
Yes.
And we obviously love working with him. You should definitely check out Active Life Solutions.
At this point, he's more of a personal friend.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But and what I've seen is like we did a SWOT analysis after that. Me and you did. And we did a SWOT analysis, sent it to them, and basically we told them how it was, that it was a problem on our side, especially that we were fairly inexperienced, and we also didn't communicate enough. So they understood that, and it was very mutual, and they understood that they also probably didn't know exactly what their message was. But overall, I'm actually really happy with what we learned from it. And I mean, going from that to a campaign that raises 309% or 310% or whatever it was really good.
They still had us back for work.
Yeah, and we're going to be actually probably going back to New York, hopefully, and fulfilling what their actual commercial needs to be. So you'll definitely see that if that becomes a thing. But I think communication is probably king in our line of work, especially. I mean, even with us three, like we're three best friends that are doing like, funny TikToks and stuff. But if we don't talk about it, if we don't, like in the mornings, if we're not catching up and being like, okay, this is what we need to get done, like it's just gonna fail.
Another thing, just do SWOT analysis after every job, or.
Yeah, and even if you don't, like they wanted us to send them one, and I thought that was great. And we've actually done one with Steve as
That's
well.
when we first learned what SWOT was.
Yep. And it's really crucial because it takes sometimes you can just do a job and move on past it, but with the SWOT analysis, you really look back at how you performed and then how you could have done better. And that's.
Do you want to tell the audience what a SWOT analysis is?
Yeah, it's like.
Let me look it up for you.
Yeah, I actually forget.
What the acronym is?
SWOT.
Yeah.
I actually forget. Call me out.
All right. So SWOT analysis, the acronym.
You're not really talking to Mike.
Okay. SWOT analysis. The acronym
There you go.
stands for
strengths, weaknesses, something.
Wait, gotta click it out of this. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like your strengths and then your opportunities and your weaknesses and your threats. It plays on. It's like a 50-50 thing. You do things that were good, that you optimized, things that you were poor on, and it's just a really good way to learn from it. And we've done it with multiple clients. I think we should talk about the next
bad experience.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Logan, it was obviously it was a job through you, so I think you should probably.
I get all the bad ones.
I've had some bad ones.
You gotta help me out on this one. Cause
Yeah,
it was a lot because we've worked with this guy multiple times.
Yeah.
It just. Okay, so I don't know. I was on Instagram one day. I was DMing people, seeing if they needed work.
Artists.
Yeah, mostly artists. Yeah, and one responded, and he needed a music video, and he loved my pitch. So, we set something up to meet, and me and Gavin met him. Everything seemed good. What was your takeaway from the meeting?
I mean, I'm pretty optimistic anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fairly optimistic. Figured that, maybe like I got a weird first impression that seemed like not very professional. The guy seemed like he had the right idea in mind, and he was like in it for future connections. The kind of the problem was he was a little bit disconnected from reality in a sense. He thought that we were capable of, more than we are at the given budget.
Oh yeah.
And I think that was the issue. Like we did some amazing stuff for him,
mm-hmm.
but probably at about a third of the price that we should have.
Yeah.
Given the circumstances, the time, the effort, and that stuff. And I mean, going off that, it's not like we started the connection and like the engagement. We didn't start business by saying, okay, this is how much we want you to pay us. we did the free to fee, and we basically said, okay, we can do this first, blah blah blah, for a cheaper price, and then eventually bring up.
It wasn't free. We did do something free, but we did.
Yeah, it wasn't free to fee, but it was like less to eventually build up, and I think it was probably both of our faults that we didn't push it enough in the beginning, and then we ended up. I think honestly, inadvertently, we ended up getting walked on a little bit.
We got way underpaid.
Yeah, and we were getting underpaid for very good work.
Mm-hmm. It was editing intensive too.
Yeah, editing intensive. There's a lot of creative. I'm actually happy with a lot of the stuff we did with him, but it was just there was some missed opportunity, and I think it sprouted from the fact that we kind of undervalued ourselves, and that's one thing that you guys need to make sure that you're doing is
know your worth.
Yeah, I mean, because there's got to be a line. You can't get walked on and expect to grow.
Be direct.
Yeah, being direct, and honestly, it's like one of the most uncomfortable things. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, it's like, because you were talking, it's even if you're going to miss some kind of job, because you say no, I know I can do better work than that for this X amount.
Yeah.
So even if you miss on some job, it will be in the long run better because you'll get another job at the value you're worth.
Yeah. And there has to be a level of, I mean, we go back to it, but there has to be a level of self-awareness. Like, because I think that's a big difference between me and Logan. Logan's more of a timid person when it comes to like that. And it's because I think it's like it's not a bad thing at all. I think it's just personality wise. Mm-hmm. But I mean, even though like I was telling you guys a couple days ago, I just sent a proposal to somebody for a job, and it was actually a connection that I made 6 months ago or something, and they were calling me back. It was like a free to fee thing, which is awesome. But even then, sending the proposal for work that was slightly under my budget still freaks me out. Mm-hmm. And unless you have like a client that is really open and is really like ready, like most couples for weddings, they're ready to drop money on their wedding.
Also, it wasn't just like being underpaid. It was that the money he was giving us didn't even cover the budget that he wanted.
Yeah, he was asking for more than he was willing to pay. And I mean, it just goes back to being direct. And we were also very young. We were young and hungry, as we still are, but we were even younger and more naive. All right, so this has been the YouTube segment. We're going to keep going on the podcast. But if you liked the YouTube video, leave us a like, and then you can actually listen to the whole thing. We're probably going to do another 15-20 minutes on our iTunes podcast, so you can look up the Daily Advantage podcast on iTunes. And yeah, thanks for watching.